What's up, dudes? Trey back again here bringing another video. This time we'll be doing a video talking about the matchup that was supposed to be between Rashad Evans and Phil Davis, but just all kinds of controversy and crap going on right now. So I'll go over it all. And as it stands today is July 14th, and apparently it's settled. So this should be the way it ends up being. So we'll start from the beginning, from the top. It was supposed to be Rashad Evans versus Phil Davis. Phil Davis, blew out his knee with a bum knee. Obviously, maybe he was doing a ton of wrestling and stuff, and he just blew out his knee somehow. Landed the wrong way, maybe. Who knows? There's really no reports exactly on the specifics, but his knee's busted, and he can't fight. So he's out. So Rashad Evans needs an opponent. The first guy they called that we know of so far was Tito Ortiz first. Tito Ortiz initially said, I just got done my fight 11 days ago. I was taking time off. I got personal stuff going on. I got family stuff. I got business stuff I got to do. I can't take the fight right now. I won't be ready in time, or I'm not going to be able to peak in time, this kind of stuff. He just basically said, I got other obligations. I can't fight. Okay, fine. Whatever. Makes sense. And then the UFC went to Lyoto Machida, and they said, Machida, will you take the fight? And Lyoto Machida basically said yes. So it was, posted everywhere pretty much is going to be Machida against Evans. And then the next day, basically, which was yesterday, came up and, Dana White apparently posted that he had talked to Machida's management, and Machida's management thought it would be a good idea to try to kind of highball the UFC, but not really highball the UFC. I mean, they were asking for Anderson Silva money for Machida to step into this fight. And surprisingly, the UFC turned it down. The UFC said no. We're not going to pay you Anderson Silva money for Machida to fight Evans. It's not going to happen. And then, basically, we find out now on Tito Ortiz's Twitter that he says only for the UFC, and apparently now it's going to be Tito. Tito will take the fight, so maybe a call from Dana and some begging back to Tito after they gave Tito the chance. And Tito's agreed to take the fight against Rashad Evans. So let's back up a bit. I want to comment on the Lyoto Machida situation. So nothing against Lyoto Machida. This had nothing to do with him, really. Anybody who says, Machida this, Machida, it had nothing to do with him. It was all business. They called Machida, and Machida's like, I'll take the fight, but you got to pay me. You know what I mean? You're going to pay me to step in and, and take this fight on short notice. On the main event, you're going to pay. I mean, the UFC is $1 billion company. They just bought Strikeforce. They make tons of money per event. They have money like coming out the wazoo. And Dana White said, no, we're not going to pay you anymore, or we're not going to pay you Anderson Silva money. Accomplish what Anderson Silva's accomplished to get that money, yada, yada, yada. So, from both perspectives, I mean, I can't really fault either parties. This is what happens in business sometimes. Just like look at the, sales for a house and stuff like that. Sometimes, the party who's selling, decides, well, maybe we'll, highball them a bit or try to get more out of them. And sometimes the buyer says no. These types of things in business, they happen. So I don't really fault either party. If I have to pick one party, though, I have to say I side with Machida in that situation. And the UFC should pay him. Why would they not pay him? $1 billion company, makes tons and tons of loot, man. They can afford it. And the amount they're going to make off of this pay-per-view alone, to give the guy, a few $100,000, they can afford to do that. That's not, for him to step into a main event when he has no idea of it coming up and anything, they can pay him. You know what I mean? I don't know why they're being penny pinchers. It's like you got these fucking billionaires and they're penny pinchers. The Fertittas, they own all these fucking casinos and all this stuff, but they don't want to pay Lyoto Machida a couple $100,000 to step in and sell, millions of pay-per-view buys for them. It's just, I don't know. To me, I side with Machida's management, who said, okay, well, we'll step in, Machida will do it, yada, 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 and, not put on his best performance because he doesn't have that much time. He can't really peak, this kind of stuff. But you got to pay for that. You know what I mean? You have to pay the guy for that. So I side with Machida, I guess, as I'm going through this. The UFC really, they don't need to be penny pinchers like that. They shouldn't be. Why would they do that? To me, it's like, it's stupid. It's like, why? Why are they penny pinchers? I don't know. It's dumb. But anyway, I'm sure they probably paid Tito Ortiz more than Machida was asking to step into this fight. I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't. I mean, Anderson Silva gets what does he get? 400,000 to $1 million from the UFC per fight? I think so. Anywhere between 200,000 and $1 million. So what was Machida asking for? 200,000 or 300,000? 400,000? 500,000? Pay the man, dude. Pay the man. Anyway, this whole video is not going to be about that. Let's move on. So Tito said, let's do it. And I am stoked, man. I am so stoked. And I hope you guys are too, man. Because, I mean, when we saw Tito Ortiz fight Ryan Bader, he made Ryan Bader look like a fucking amateur. He made him look like a goddamn amateur. It was amazing. You know, he came out there and his Muay Thai and his stance and everything. He looked like he had energy. He looked like he was fast. I mean, he looked like a guy that nobody in the light heavyweight division is going to want to fight right now. That's what Tito Ortiz looked like. So I hope for this fight against Rashad, Tito comes out the same way, you know, just like aggressive and energetic and just ready to go and in good shape and everything. I mean, I'm really excited for the future for Tito Ortiz because Tito Ortiz, for me, you know, like a lot of these other older fighters, you know, I tend to like them a lot because, you know, as the sport matured and everything, these guys went from, you know, being on the top when nobody knew what UFC or Pride or mixed martial arts in general really was to, you know, kind of dwindling over the years. Chuck retiring, Randy retiring, Fedor losing for the first time in 10 years, two fights in a row now. You know, all these guys, you know, having trouble, and almost none of them have been able to come back and make it up to the top again. You know, Matt Hughes and BJ Penn was doing good for a while, and then him too, you know, we'll see if he can come back up. But Tito, it's like, you know, his career, he was almost forgotten about. It was almost like I did a video before that, a few months before that, where I was talking like, should Tito retire, this kind of stuff, and now look at him, you know what I mean? He destroys Ryan Bader, who's probably, you know, top 3 or was top 3 in light heavyweight. He was supposed to be one of those next, you know, up-and-comer guys like Phil Davis or like John Jones or any of these guys, you know, a new guy, a new kid. He destroys him in the first round. I mean, I'm just really excited to see Tito against Rashad Evans. So I'm going to make a prediction. I know this is a long prediction video, but I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go with, I got to go with Tito Ortiz, man. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm biased to shit. But still, you know, the first time they fought, it was a draw, right? And, you know, you got two good wrestlers. You know, the stand-up, at this time, I have to give the advantage to, probably to Tito right now, I'd say, after his performance against Bader. I have to give the wrestling to, you know, nobody is dominant in wrestling. If I have to pick one person, I guess it'd be Rashad. But jiu-jitsu, I got to give to Tito. And, I'd say that this fight should probably end in maybe the second round or go to a decision. And I'm going to pick Tito Ortiz because I'm biased as fuck. And I don't like Rashad very much. And I hope Tito whoops his ass. And hopefully gets to fight John Jones. That would be amazing to see. Hopefully his win over Ryan Bader wasn't just like a fluky thing. And I don't think it was personally. And it isn't just like, you know, a one-time only thing. So I want Tito to win this fight. So I'm picking Tito. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. Trev saying later. Peace. Subscribe if you haven't. Later.